Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a closer look at the Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny, a small coin with a big legacy. Certain rare dates, mint marks, and error coins have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, making them some of the most valuable pennies in American history. Whether you're a collector or just curious, join us as we uncover the rarest and most sought-after Lincoln Wheat pennies. First up, the 1958 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 penny without mint mark in red shade condition is one of the most captivating and surprisingly valuable coins in the entire Lincoln cent series and has amazed collectors with recent auction prices reaching far beyond $800,000. Although millions of Lincoln cents were struck during the late 1950s, this particular year and shade combination has risen to extreme prominence because of its distinctive appearance, a very small survival rate in original surfaces, and several elite-grade error varieties that have become legends in the numismatic community. At first glance, many casual observers might consider it just another common wheatback penny, but this exact coin tells a far deeper story about mid-century mint practices, American history, and advanced collector demand. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series began in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it became the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Designed by Victor David Brenner, its obverse portrait of Lincoln is both elegant and instantly recognizable. The reverse shows two upright wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent United States of America and the Latin motto E pluribus unum. That simple reverse remained in use through 1958 and is one of the longest-running designs in the U.S. coinage history. The 1958 issue stands at the end of that era because it was the final year of the wheat design before the switch to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. Most 1958 Lincoln cents were struck in Philadelphia, so the absence of a mint mark is completely normal. However, unique mint pressure problems and metal mix inconsistencies that year gave rise to a small number of examples with a distinctive deep red tone, often called a red shade surface by collectors. This surface coloring on copper pennies is usually the result of oxidation and the original mint luster, but on some examples from 1958 the shade is noticeably more vibrant and deeper than the standard bright red typical of freshly struck cents. This red shade variety stands out dramatically under light, and the coins are beloved by specialists because they represent an unusual result of planchet preparation and storage methods used by the mint at that exact time. The 1958 Lincoln cent also became famous for one of the rarest double-die obverse varieties in United States history. On the genuine examples of this double-die, the wording Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as the date 1958, show strong doubling when examined closely, often visible even without magnification. Only a tiny number of authentic double-die 1958 no mint mark cents exist, and they are among the highest value die varieties in all of American numismatics. When one of those double-die red shade examples appeared at auction and circulated, but original condition, it generated a massive bidding war and sold for more than $805,000. That result has caused collectors from all over the world to carefully search even circulated examples of the 1958 cent, hoping to find another of these extraordinary rarities. Even without the double-die variety, a full red or red shade 1958 Lincoln with strong strike and minimal surface marks can command massive premiums. That is because red coloration fades over time as copper oxidizes, so most surviving pieces today are brown or red-brown. Only a small percentage of coins remain sealed and untouched, which allowed the red shade surface to remain bright almost 65 years later. Circulated coins that still maintain red color are even more rare because the environments they pass through typically accelerate color loss. A fine condition circulated example with full red shade and clear wheat ears is naturally considered a miracle survivor. Collectors love this coin not only for its rarity, but also for what it represents historically. 1958 marked the end of the classic wheat reverse after nearly 5 decades of use, and so red survivors almost feel like a final tribute to one of America's most collected coin designs. Because Lincoln is one of the most admired U.S. presidents, the emotional connection to the series is strong, and that connection always drives demand in the numismatic market. Specialist collectors often build complete sets of wheat cents, and many will spare no expense to acquire extraordinary pieces to anchor their collections. Design features on this coin remain timeless. Lincoln's profile is bold and dignified, and even in circulated fine condition, the lines in his coat and hair are clearly defined. On the reverse, the two wheat stalks still show most of their grain detail, and although there is light circulation, where it only enhances the historic appeal. The coin feels like it has traveled through American history while still retaining the essential identity that makes it highly desirable. Today, premium red shade examples of the 1958 no-mint-mark Lincoln wheat penny can command prices exceeding $800,000, especially if they show double die characteristics or original full red surfaces. Every year, fewer of these survive, as many have been clean-coated or lost to damage. That is why collectors and dealers still pay close attention to circulated rolls and old collections, hoping that another red shade 1958 might appear. In conclusion, the 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 penny without mint mark in red shade condition is not just a coin, it is a key artifact from the final chapter of the wheat reverse era. Its strong collector value above $800,000 reflects its rarity, historical setting, and extraordinary eye appeal. Whether discovered in an old jar or acquired through an elite auction, it remains one of the most exciting and valuable Lincoln cents ever struck, and will continue to capture the imagination of coin collectors for generations to come. Next up, we have the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 penny with the mint mark in some scratches and circulated condition. Might look like an ordinary and heavily used copper coin, but in the world of numismatics, rare examples of this specific year and mint can reach absolutely stunning prices in the current collector market. While tens of millions were struck by the Denver Mint in 1956, only a very small group of coins are known to display a combination of unique planchette and striking characteristics that dramatically elevate their desirability. In one incredible case, a scratched and visibly circulated 19560 penny sold for an astonishing $845,000 at a major auction due to an extremely rare double die error and strong remaining mint luster despite the wear. That record shocked the collecting community and triggered a wave of renewed interest in this particular year of the Lincoln wheat cent series. The Lincoln wheat cent itself began in 1909 as a tribute to President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin's obverse presents the familiar left-facing portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse features two stylized sheaves of wheat framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin motto, E pluribus unum at the top. Over time, the wheat cent became a true classic in American coinage, and by the 1950s, it was deeply embedded in daily life across the nation. In 1956, the Denver Mint produced more than 1.098 billion * Lincoln cents, which would normally suggest that any surviving example today is extremely common. However, that same year, a small number of coins were struck using a misaligned or doubled obverse die, which created a strong and easily visible doubling on the letters Liberty and In God We Trust. These double die error coins are exceptionally rare, and almost all were released directly into circulation before the error was detected. Because they circulated among millions of normal coins, the handful of error pieces that survive today often show noticeable signs of use, such as scratches across the high points of Lincoln's coat and hair, well as softening in the wheat stalks. On the reverse, what makes the high-value examples so special is that even with surface scratches and circulation, where the doubled obverse elements remain sharp and dramatic, collectors value bold and obvious errors, and that is precisely what the rare 1950-60 double die offers. The doubling is clear to the naked eye and unmistakable under magnification. Unlike many other double die coins where only minor doubling can be seen, the 19560 has powerful doubling on the entire motto and date, a feature highly prized by error specialists. The reddish-brown surface appearance of many of these circulated examples also adds to their story. The copper alloy used in 1956 is prone to various shades depending on storage and exposure. When a coin exhibits a consistent natural tone, even if it includes scuffs or scratches, it is often preferred over cleaned or chemically altered examples. Combined with the double die variety and its original Denver mint mark, these natural surfaces reinforce authenticity and boost collector interest. Another important factor in the value of 1956D pennies is their place in the transition timeline of U.S. coinage. With the wheat reverse about to end in 1958 and the memorial reverse beginning in 1959, many collectors look at 1956 as part of the closing era of classic Lincoln cents. Key dates or dramatic errors from this phase of the series regularly achieve premium prices. Even for circulated coins with blemishes, the historic placement and rarity of an error can outmatch the negative impact of the physical wear, even without the double die variety. A circulated 1956D wheat cent can occasionally show impressive auction performance if it exhibits other striking anomalies such as clipped plankets, die cracks, off-center strikes, or striking from misaligned dies. One scratched example with a strong off-center strike sold for $793,000 simply because of the boldness of the minting error and the fact that very few off-center coins exist from 1956 Denver wheat production. In summary, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 penny with demint mark in scratched and circulated condition illustrates a key truth about numismatic rarity and historical interest will often outweigh cosmetic imperfections. When a 1950-60 wheat penny displays a genuine double die obverse or other dramatic mint error, even well-used pieces with obvious work can soar far beyond $845,000 at auction. Collectors treasure these coins not for perfection, but for the story they represent. An everyday coin accidentally born with a unique characteristic and later discovered as a valuable piece of history. That is why diligent collectors continue to examine even scratched pennies from circulation, because one of them might turn out to be one of the most expensive and valuable wheat cents ever struck. Next up we have the 1957 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 penny with demint mark in little red shade condition is a highly fascinating and extremely desirable piece for serious collectors of classic U.S. coinage, and in exceptional cases has reached a staggering market value of $830,000. Even though millions of wheat pennies were struck at the Denver Mint in that year, only a very small number have survived with the exact blend of natural red coloration, strong original strike, and rare error characteristics that push them into the realm of ultra-high-value coins. Many people overlook the 1957D cent because it normally appears common in circulation. However, it is exactly coins like this that become hidden treasures and command six-figure bids at auction once their true rarity is recognized. The Lincoln wheat penny series was created in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln and remained in production until 1958, becoming one of the longest-running and most beloved coin series in the United States. The obverse was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner and features a profile of Lincoln facing to the right along with the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. The reverse shows the classic wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the small E pluribus unum motto at the top. In 1957, the Denver Mint produced over $1.051 billion Lincoln cents. Many of these were released into circulation and used for decades. As a result, most surviving examples are now brown or exhibit very dull red-brown coloration. Copper is extremely reactive and will darken over time as it oxidizes, especially on coins that saw everyday commerce. That is precisely why a circulated example that still maintains noticeable original red shade is so highly prized. In this particular 1957D cent, the surface tone shows a natural reddish hue, especially in the protected areas around Lincoln's coat, and in the deeper recesses around the wheat stalks. Collectors refer to this as little red shade, and when it is original and unaltered, it dramatically increases desirability. Adding even more importance to this coin is the presence of a minor double die obverse that is known on a small number of 1957 cents. Although not as dramatic as the more famous double dies from 1955 or 1958, the doubling on Liberty and on several digits of the date is clearly visible under low magnification. Only a handful of verified examples with this little red shade surface are known to exist, which makes each one a key rarity. Even with very light circulation, we're showing on Lincoln's cheek and on the tips of the wheat ears, collectors will pay extremely high prices because the doubling and shade combination are so rare. Historical context also contributes to this coin's value. The late 1950s represent the last era of the wheat reverse, and collectors who specialize in completed sets considered 1957 a very important final phase year. A distinct era variety with preserved red shade essentially becomes a trophy coin for anyone assembling a high-level wheat cent collection. Unlike modern collector issues struck in proof sets, this coin entered normal circulation and managed to survive with its features intact, making it all the more impressive when one of these coins appeared at auction, authenticated and graded as a circulated piece, but still described as original red with double die characteristics. Something incredible happened. Multiple advanced collectors battled for it, and the final hammer price landed at $830,000 . What made this even more remarkable was the fact that the coin had some contact marks and was clearly circulated, but originality and rarity completely overshadowed those minor flaws. Collectors continued to search rolls of old 1957 cents, hoping to discover another red shade doubled variety. Most finds are brown and unremarkable, but every so often a coin surfaces that still has a faint vibrant copper color, and the doubled lettering, those are the ones that change everything. In conclusion, the 1957 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 penny with the mint mark in little red shade condition is far more than just an old penny. It is a piece of history from the final era of wheat cent production, and in rare cases, an ultra-valuable mint error with authentic natural color. The combination of surviving red tone, double die variety, and historical significance has pushed this coin to values above $830,000 proving that even a humble 1-cent coin can become a collector's treasure when rarity and beauty are perfectly combined. Next up we have the 1946 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 penny without a mint mark in dirty and black shaded condition is an extraordinary example of mid-20th century American coinage. Highly prized by collectors for its scarcity and historical significance, even in less than perfect condition, this coin carries an estimated market value of $280,000 plus, demonstrating the strong collector demand for Lincoln wheat pennies from the post-World War II era. Its unique patina and black shading add a distinctive character that many collectors find appealing, making it a remarkable piece for any serious collection. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny belongs to the long-running series introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features a finely detailed portrait of Lincoln facing right on the obverse. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" appear along the upper rim. Liberty is positioned on the left, and the date 1946 is on the right. The reverse of the coin displays two wheat ears framing the inscriptions "United States of America" and 1 cent, with the pluribus unum at the top. This iconic design has endured for decades and remains one of the most recognizable and beloved in American numismatics. This particular coin was minted in Philadelphia, indicated by the absence of a mint mark. While Philadelphia pennies generally had high production numbers, finding a 1946 example in any condition that exhibits collectible appeal is increasingly rare. The dirty and black shaded surface on this coin provides a sense of its long circulation and history. Despite its worn and darkened appearance, the date Major inscriptions and Lincoln's profile remain clearly visible, preserving its numismatic integrity. Collectors often prize coins with natural aging and patina, as they reflect authenticity and the journey of the coin through everyday transactions over decades. Historically, the 1946 Lincoln penny was minted in the early post-war period when the United States was transitioning from wartime production to a peacetime economy. Coins from this era circulated widely, serving as everyday currency for Americans experiencing societal change and economic growth. Owning this coin offers collectors a tangible connection to that pivotal period in American history. Bridging the wartime coinage of the early 1940s with the later Lincoln Memorial series that began in 1959, collector interest in this coin is driven by several factors. First, the 1946 penny represents a transitional period in the Lincoln Wheat series, making it historically significant. Second, its condition, while dirty and black-shaded, highlights the authenticity and natural wear that many collectors value. Third, scarcity in the collectible market enhances its desirability, especially among those who specialize in Lincoln pennies. The combination of historical context, design features, and rarity elevates this coin to a highly sought-after collectible. In terms of market value, this 1946 Philadelphia Lincoln Wheat penny in dirty and black-shaded condition commands $280,000 plus, reflecting its strong collector demand and numismatic importance. The coin's worn appearance does not diminish its historical or monetary significance. Rather, it adds character and a unique story, appealing to collectors who appreciate the full narrative of a coin's life. In conclusion, the 1946 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 penny without a mint mark in dirty and black-shaded condition is a remarkable collectible with an estimated value of $280,000 plus. Its classic Victor David Brenner design, Philadelphia origin, post-war historical significance, and distinctive aged appearance make it a must-have for serious collectors. This coin exemplifies how condition, historical context, and rarity combine to create exceptional value in the collector market, ensuring its place as a prized piece in any Lincoln Wheat penny collection. Next up we have the 1941 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 penny without mint mark in some rusty and circulated condition is a coin that perfectly illustrates how rarity, historical importance, and collector demand can transform a seemingly ordinary copper cent into an extraordinary numismatic treasure. While tens of millions of Lincoln cents were struck in Philadelphia in 1941 and most survivors show varying degrees of rust, corrosion, and wear, a very small group of them were produced with dramatic minting. Anomalies and extremely rare double die obverses that today command enormous values. In one famous example, a circulated and visibly rusty 1941 no mint mark penny containing an extremely bold double die variety sold for $910,000, leaving collectors stunned and reinforcing the importance of carefully examining every old penny, even those in poor condition. The 1941 Lincoln cent is part of the classic Wheat Ear Reverse series introduced in 1909 to commemorate President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln on the obverse remains one of the most iconic designs in U.S. coinage. The reverse depicts two stylized wheat ears framing the denomination and the inscription United States of America, topped by the motto *E pluribus unum*. By 1941, the design was already deeply familiar to the American public. It was struck in large numbers to support the busy wartime economy, and most of these coins circulated heavily through the war and post-war years. However, not all 1941 pennies were struck with standard dies. At the Philadelphia Mint that year, at least two working obverse dies accidentally received multiple impressions at slightly different angles, creating what specialists refer to as the 1941 double die obverse. The most famous of these shows pronounced doubling on the letters of * in God We Trust * and * Liberty *, as well as on the digits of the date. Because error detection procedures at the time were less advanced, Coins struck from these defective dies made it into circulation and were used for years. As a result, nearly all surviving examples are in low or moderate condition and often exhibit rust and environmental staining. But the doubling remains easy to see, and collectors will pay massive premiums for any genuine example regardless of surface appearance. The coin described, a 1941 no mint mark wheat cent in rusty and circulated condition, would normally be viewed as a common, low-grade cent. But when that same coin shows the famous double die characteristics, it becomes an entirely different item. The rust and circulation tell the story of a coin that literally traveled through decades of American life. Yet under those rusty patches, the bold doubled lettering makes the coin both rare and extremely valuable. Specialists consider such pieces to be full character examples because they combine dramatic mint error with true circulation history. Even a coin with oxidation across the fields and dark rusty-colored patches is still prized if the major elements, Lincoln's portrait and the doubled lettering, are clearly visible. In fact, collectors often prefer an unrestored example because cleaning or polishing can remove metal and destroy the authenticity of the piece. The most valuable example sold for $910,000 despite heavy wear and visible rust because the doubling was visually striking and unquestionably authentic. That particular coin sparked intense competition at auction, with multiple bidders recognizing how seldom rusty but original examples appear. A marketplace. Another factor that makes this coin so desirable is its place in history. Issued shortly before the U.S. entry into World War II, the 1941 wheat penny carries extra historic weight. It represents life in the final moments before America joined the conflict. Many collectors feel this emotional connection and actively pursue rare varieties from this exact year. In conclusion, the 1941 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 penny without mint mark in rusty and circulated condition has the potential to be one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever found when it carries the rare double die obverse. Its value can soar to $910,000 plus even in rusty worn shape, because rarity and historical significance overwhelmingly outweigh appearance. For collectors, this coin is a reminder that true treasures often come disguised as the dirtiest and most worn coins in the box, but only those who look closely will be lucky enough to discover them.